Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, and it is past 9 o'clock, so guess it means past the watershed. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night. I hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to, it's going to be a match preview for Forest versus Chelsea, but it's also going to be a lot about the going-ons on the City ground. I hope you've all had a chance to watch the interview myself and Rob conducted with Steve, one of the council guys who is very much involved in what's going on with the City ground. If you haven't, make sure you check it out after this stream. It's quite insightful and interesting to see. Guys in the chat, I hope you're well. Hope you're looking forward to the big day tomorrow. Don't worry. We will, cheers, Tony. We will come on to it. And please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Forest Fan TV, and don't forget, grab your football prizes tickets because this one is a special one this week. Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi double framed, double signed, and it is going like hotcakes. So if you want your tickets, the link's pinned in the chat. So get them gone now. They're not going to be many tickets left.
That's the second prize, by the way. The first prize is just a Callum Hudson-Odoi shirt. Anyway, carry on.
What? It's one prize. It's one prize. What? You can't split it. No, he's trying to.
No. It was.
Facetious.
It was lame. It was a tumbleweed moment for.
Was it a crypto moment?
Oh, really? If you got intelligence, you'd have jumped on that.
Gosh. Bro, like I'm just focusing on the fact my heart should continue to beat, right? And you're giving me all these freaking acronym things, man. Let's move on from it. Anyway, right. Rob, man, lot of love for you in the chat. Rob really giving it to Steve early on.
I was polite.
Oh, that must have been an outtake.
He was a guest.
But apart from Simon.
It was funny seeing Rob talking articulately in a video earlier, contrast to him calling for Nuno to be sacked on the spot as soon as the corner goes in. Yin and yang, Rob, yin and yang.
Big up to Steve as well, because you're quite brave coming on this particular channel,
and he's a Forest fan, isn't he?
And he's a Forest, it's proper Forest.
That we cannot dispute. So fair play to him.
I was thinking, man, imagine we had Ant on there as well, and he started mentioning 78, 67. He was going about that. I would have been like, I was there, Steve. Yeah, we were sat next to each other.
I remember that match.
But massive thank you.
Remember that match?
Yeah, you are weird like that.
Honestly.
Massive shout out to Steve for coming on. Please do make sure you watch that. And at least Richard got my freaking joke. I mean, oh my god, the comments. Where's Richard saying? The comments, man. The comments. It's Toten.
Yeah, but it's not Totten, is it? It's Toten.
Play on words. Anyway, right. Let's kick off and talk about the City ground first, because us lot haven't sat down and had a chat about it. And I really want to know what the chat are thinking, especially those of you who have now watched what Steve had to say for it. Has your opinion changed? Because the club's been pointing a lot of fingers at the council in the last week or so. In fact, the last few months. But it was interesting to see what he said. It wants to kick us off with the thoughts on the City grounds. Let's go to you, Rob, seeing that you were living it.
I was on it.
Did your opinion change at all come the end of it? Before you start, just quick shout out to Wazza for the £2. Thanks so much, Wazza. 3-1 to us tomorrow, dudes. Bro, I don't care if we lose. If West Ham beat Luton, but we're coming on to that. Go on, Rob, kick us off.
So what I learned is that the last meeting about this was in February, which I think is shocking, quite honestly. But what I also learned was that, and he let it slip, was that Steve spoke to Tom Cartledge yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. It seems like that call didn't really progress the matter. My personal feeling about this is that the club management are seriously looking at this move to the point where they may even now be locked onto it as an idea. I think overall, my personal preference is to stay at the City ground. I think it's absolutely fundamental to the identity of the club. It has a lot of shortcomings, but I want to stay there. That's my personal feeling. And I also feel that if a plan to move to Toten is published, I think there's going to be demonstrations outside the ground. And therefore, I think that the way that Tom Cartledge is positioning this now is he's trying to set the council up for the blame, right? In the case that that happens. And I think that that is a big, big mistake on both parts, because I think it's mutual assured destruction. Now, the thing about Tom Cartledge, and sorry if I'm going on here, is that his position is a lot more technical than the council, right? That council could survive a nuclear blast, right? Whatever happens, there's going to be 50 councillors. They've bankrupted the city and they keep getting re-elected. So they're not actually worried about public opinion, right? Whereas I think that demonstrations outside the ground, if you remember, there were demonstrations against Fawaz towards the end, right? I think a lot of feathers are going to be ruffled if they're serious about moving away from the city ground.
I tell you what, Rob, I could do one of his air conditioning units right about now.
Yeah, I know. It's pleasant. It's pleasant. I've been in the garden today. So I think that that's the way they're setting it up. Personally, I would look at this as a one in a lifetime opportunity for Forest to buy the freehold and actually own the ground that the stadium is on, right? And the council are so desperate for money now that if they go to those commissioners and say, look, here's X million, the price of a player, the price of a signing, for example, and say, here's some millions that will plug your funding gap for 2025 and get those commissioners out, they will snap their hand off. So personally, I think that neither side is doing much to diffuse the situation, but I think that the council are open to offers on the freehold, and that's now been made clear. And I think that the management of the club cannot lie and obfuscate about that. They have the option to buy the freehold. And if they say, oh, we're going to Totem because of the council, I'm not sure I can believe that anymore.
Yeah, and I think just to add to that, that was the big takeaway from the interview, was the bit about Forest can buy the freehold or the land for the city ground. Now, there was a few misconceptions going on in the live chat when we aired it earlier. And a few people were saying, yeah, but it's going to cost us 250 million. Right. We can tell you that the cost to buy the city ground will be less than Emmanuel Dennis's transfer or Matt Turner's transfer. Yeah. So that should give you an idea of what the small amount of cost would be.
Can we give them Matt Turner for the city ground? Throw in Blackademus.
You can do whatever you want.
The council, Matt Turner.
Well, it would be the most noble thing he's done for Forest since he got here.
Oh shit, he dropped the microphone.
It would better our relationship with the US. We could be Nottingham Council funded by Donald Trump or something, you know. We'd be rolling in it this time.
In the city ground into a golf course.
But anyway, so yeah, so exactly as Simon said, I mean, the misconceptions are 50 million, 250 million, and what have you. So, you know, you take from that what you will, but let's just say one transfer would get this done. Gunners, Crypto.
Oh no, I was just saying no to that comment. No thanks.
Okay. So Anne, with that in mind, and with Marinakis, I don't know if you caught his interview today, where he did say on his interview that he wants to build a stadium and a training facility. Do you feel that we are going in that direction? And what's your thoughts in general on the whole city ground move?
Yeah, well, right. I'll start off in general. Obviously, I'm a traditional fan. I've been going since I was a baby. So city ground to me is extra special. It's really, you know, a magical place. It's home, yeah. So for me, I'd like us to get it up to 42,000. I think that would be plenty. However, it's not just about that, is it? I can understand an ambitious owner, and Mr. Marinakis is an ambitious owner, wanting to build a whole complex. So you've got the ground, the training facilities, maybe a hotel or two, some retail outlets, the whole shebang. I can understand. And that would, without doubt, be a massive money-making venture, providing Forest were successful. So I can understand him wanting to do that. And after listening to today's debate, I kind of feel that that's the way he wants to go. I think he wants to move away from the City Ground and make it something massive. But I'm not sure that's right for Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure we can actually capitalise on that sort of venture. I'm not sure it would be successful, especially at a place like Towton, which is out of the way. And as was pointed out, closer to Derby than it is to Nottingham. It's not, it doesn't scream Nottingham at you, you know, whereas Trent Bridge, the River Trent, all that does scream Nottingham to you. So I believe that he wants to move now. And I do believe, as you've pointed out, that they're sort of manipulating the situation so that the council would be to blame. However, if it comes out just how much that freehold would cost, I think there would be riots.
Do the maths.
Because
It's less than Dennis, less than Turner.
Yeah, well, I know how much, don't I? So it's incredibly good value. I think the council just want money, don't they? If they can get, and just put a figure out there, if they can get 10, 20 million, that's good for them because they just want money because they're desperate.
Oh, get rid of the commissioners. That's all they want. They just want the commissioners gone. If they can, if they can balance the books for next year,
I don't think they'd be offering it at the price that they are offering it because, you know, £1 million a year is pretty good income for a council, but they want more than that. So that's why I think they're willing to let it go at a bargain price, if I'm honest. And you're right, whoever said it, it is a great opportunity for our club to own that, not just the stadium, but the ground that it's built upon forever, you know. It was also pointed out as well that if we moved away, the advantage would be we'd still be able to have full crowds for the time it's being built. Because you're probably talking, what, 4 years, 5 years to build
at least
the entire lot. So we would have a full ground, but it also was pointed out by Steve that they were on about opening the bottom half by Christmas. I mean, I'm sure that most of us would be prepared to put up with a season or two of discomfort, shall we say, but end up with the result that we want, i.e. a 42,000 seat stadium. That's including the Bridgeford stand, by the way, being redesigned. I'm sure we'd all be prepared to suffer that. And 42,000, you know, but like I keep saying, it's not just the ground. He wants all the other facilities, the conference rooms, the hotels and all that lot. And that's where the money's made. So, but we've seen it before, haven't we, with clubs that build new grounds. I mean, even Tottenham Hotspur could buy nobody for years. You know, Arsenal the same. They could buy nobody for years. So there are struggles even with that scenario. So for me, I've babbled on a bit, but for me, I would prefer to stay at our ground, buy the lease, and increase the capacity to 42,000. One last thing is, I am concerned that this has been mooted since 2019. That's 5 years ago. That extension should have been fucking done a long time ago, and we're still nowhere closer. Nowhere closer. That worries me. I mean, 5 years. Yeah, so that's my feelings on it.
We'll have the third star before we have the stadium done. Yeah, where are you on this, Crypto? I can't remember the last time we spoke about it. Are you for or against a move? Let's do a little poll as well in the chat. Let's see where everyone is for those who watched the interview earlier. Go on, Crypto.
I kind of agree with everything Ant said for once. You know, I think at our age, especially Ant's age, we've been going to the Forest ground for, you know, I mean, I've been going to the Forest ground since I was 7, which, doing some maths, was about 25, 26 years ago. So I think it means a lot more to people our age than it does to people who are younger, like Stoney. I think if you're a young fan growing up, you want to be able to get a seat, which a lot of people can't at the moment. You know, we've got that sentimentality of, and I also, one of the reasons I moved here is because I live near the City Ground and I like to be able to walk there for the matches I can get to. So for me, in a selfish way, and I think a lot of people do have a selfish view on it, and, you know, quite rightly, because that's what they've been used to their whole life. The City Ground is where it's at and where it should stay. However, I think that Marinakis has big plans in mind, and I think that he wants a bigger stadium. I think it's painfully obvious. If they've got the option to buy the actual land and they're not choosing to, then that just says to me that they want to actually move away. I don't think Towton is the right place. I mean, like you say, Towton's a bit out of town, although it does have good motorway access.
Brucey would probably be happy with it.
People from Nottingham, Crypto, they don't want to go on a fucking motorway to a home
But
game.
it's not
Exactly,
just people
yeah.
from Nottingham coming, and yes, the majority will be.
It's
There
not in
are-
the heart. It's not in the heart of the city. And what you've got to think as well is that all the pubs around here who live off the Forest fans
Yeah.
and all the culture
Yeah.
around here will probably go under.
Mm.
Because who's gonna go to those pubs if it's not for Forest? That's where they make their profit on the weekends, etc. You know, there's other things to think about. They've got all these apartments that they give to the players around here and the coaches. They don't have that in Towton. You know, Towton is a residential area with a few houses and a village hotel.
Tesco's.
Apart from that, and
And a
Tesco's
Tesco's,
and
yeah.
an army base. Apart from that, there's not much there. So I mean, Towton as a place is fine. I don't mind it, but I don't think it's very interesting. There's one pub there called the Corn Mill, which I've been to quite frequently, but that's about it basically. So it's not a very interesting place to move to. And what songs are we going to sing? It won't. The mist won't be coming in from the trend. It'll be coming. We're going to sing the smog coming in from the M25. It hasn't got the same kind of ring to it.
The M25.
Hey, bloody hell. That's
The
a big
A52.
smog.
No, Manchester United, mate.
Yeah,
Well.
the smog coming in from
People
the
keep
With
saying
the
that
Aerowash.
it's got tram access. Can I say I don't live near a fucking tram stop, so it means nothing to me having tram.
I've never been on one of those trams. I'll tell you another
Oh,
thing
they're
as
brilliant.
well.
They are
That tram company is going bankrupt in a few years. Hold my word. They're losing about £4 million a year. They are.
So the
that'll be
council will
another,
bail them out.
that'll be
It's-
another thing that goes down the hill as well.
The
I've
thing about
got-
Towton is
Oh.
it is accessible from the station, so they could actually put a train from Nottingham Station to Towton. It is on the railway network. That's why they were going to build HS2 there. So that's one potential solution. But what I think about is why would any of the local people vote in favour of that plan?
I don't think the
change.
local people would want massive hotels
Well,
there.
Remember, we looked at a site near Clifton, we looked at a site near Gamston, and both times it was kicked out by local opposition.
Residential, yeah.
So I would not, if they've been having some kind of discussion with, I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but the current leader of the county council, that county council could definitely change hands from Tory to Labour in the next year. The whole political landscape could change. And the other point is, what happens if they then decide to greenlight the eastern branch of HS2? They're going to want that site back again, aren't they? So,
I thought they'd scrap that though.
well,
the
they've
other
scrapped
thing
it
is,
for now,
what
but you
a lot of
change the
people
government,
want-
they can unscrap it. So
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Marinakis. I'm presuming he'll stay, but let's just say he left in 3 years' time, and we've built half a stadium. The new owner has to foot the bill to build the rest of it, or potentially just scrap it. And then
No,
it's
the
the same
worst
problem
case
again.
scenario is we end up with some kind of Coventry situation where some third party buys the stadium or makes the stadium, and then we are signed up to pay a sort of lease on it, and then we end up not being able to afford the lease. You remember the Rico Stadium?
Rico Arena. Yeah.
They ended up playing in Northampton for several years because they couldn't actually afford to play at their own ground. And
Yeah.
I went to that old Coventry City ground. It wasn't great, but it was all right. It was Highfield Road or something.
Highfield Road,
Highfield Road, yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you
That's
what,
where we won the league championship in 1978.
building
You were
a
with Steve that day, weren't you, man?
building a stadium
Yeah,
causes
well,
havoc with
as well,
the local
I think
area.
if you ask 50,000 West Ham fans if they prefer to be where they are or go or be back at Upton Park, I'm pretty damn sure that it'd be
Most of them, yeah.
massively in favour of going back to Upton Park.
Yeah, but
that's
you
what-
could
that's
say
what
with the
they built a
Spurs
fish for.
fans, would they rather be back at White Hart Lane or their new stadium?
That's just because they built a crap stadium, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
but
they
White
got-
Hart Lane was a
but the
crap
Spurs
atmosphere.
stadium is full of tourists. So
Yeah.
they're not
All Sun
full of
fans.
tourists,
It's
so-
full of
I've got-
bubbles.
A lot
I've
of the
got an
locals
argument
probably would
against
say
it.
yes because they used to be able to get tickets and
Alright,
go down
okay.
with them. Now
The
they
ground
can't.
would be called the Cayune Stadium. So
Oh,
You
don't
want
say
that?
Really?
Kayun Stadium. It'll be named after a Korean betting company.
Do you know what? I'd call it the Ryan Yates Stadium.
No, it would have to be the Marinakis Stadium. It would have to be.
Marinakis.
Well, like the Reading did that, didn't they? They were the Medeski
Medeski.
Stadium.
Yeah.
I remember when they built the Brentford
what's his name?
Stadium, and it was a nightmare for 2 years. You know, half an hour extra onto my trip, so I'll never forgive
BTEC
Brentford for that.
Stadium.
BTEC, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Ez because we haven't heard his view. And it'd be interesting. And then if I don't know what Ez's view is, but if it's not opposing, then we need to give the opposing view just for balance. So go on, Ez.
Well, first off, just like a couple of things we've done recently, the timing is horrendous. Why are we having this conversation now? Where this decision, whatever way we go, is a pivotal moment for Forest. Could be almost like a crossroads. And to try and even have that discussion before knowing where we're going to end up next season is stupid and short-sighted from my point of view. So I don't even think that discussion should even be brought up now, but it has. And I've got to say, brilliant work from both you guys earlier on, and our guest who was very humble and honest as well. But hearing what I've heard, so I was of the opinion, because I think this is what Marinakis wants, and I think it's what, in the long term, we could get to. If it matches my ambition, if my ambitions match Mr. Marinakis' ambitions, then I want us to be playing European football in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah. To do that, you do need the bigger stadiums. To attract that, you need the bigger stadium. So I was with it until I heard what we heard before we went live today. So I'm in a quandary now. I was of the opinion that the long-term future for Forest would be better if we'd made the move, because of the revenue. It's all based on revenue nowadays. We know it. And although you don't get massive gate receipts, you get that awareness, that exposure. And you guys have already mentioned it. These massive stadiums in London, they're filled with tourists. But tourists pay. They pay money. They'll be going home and watching it. You know, it'll be all over the.
They are in London though. They are in London.
Yeah, but Manchester as well, and they fill out the city grounds, the Etihad Stadium.
Etihad's, yeah.
When we were there, it's all full of tourists.
There's no atmosphere because it's the tourists. There's no
They
atmosphere.
are treble holders and.
But my point is, so I've had my mind changed a little bit from the discussions we've had off here, and I've got to say, you know, I love the City Ground like everybody else, you know, and if we can improve it, if we can expand there, then there's nowhere else I'd want to be honest, you know. And but what I don't want to do is be kicking the can down the road, you know. So we're doing it for now, and it's a short-term fix. And then in 5-10 years' time, we're still thinking about the bigger picture, and we're spending a couple of $100 million or minimum. You're looking at least £500 million on a new stadium and setup outside of Nottingham area, and that's what I really don't want. I don't want to move away from the city area. It's where it is perfect for the whole local economy. The way it even looks, it's picturesque, you know. And I know it's a sentimental thought to say that, but if we can stay there, that's got to be the best option. And listening to what we've heard and the cost of getting that lease, it's a no-brainer for me.
The thing is as well, there's no guarantee. Look at what's happened this season and last season. There's no guarantee we'll even stay in the Premier League. Yes, we want to. Yes, we should with the team. But, you know, hopefully we'll stay up this season. But with 3 points off being relegated with 2 games left, I mean, it's a huge risk. It's a huge
everybody keeps going on about the stadium, the size of the stadium. I don't think that that's the main interest, because we're not going to build a bigger than a 50,000 stadium. That'd be pretty stupid. We're never going to fill that. Right?
Wash your mouth out.
Right. So I think 50,000 would be the kind of limit. A bit like Everton. I think this is 52.
Yeah.
That if you build a 50,000 seat stadium, that is 8,000 more than the 42,000 we could get at the City Ground. That means nothing financially, atmosphere wise. Extra 8,000 on the size of a 42,000 crowd means nothing. So it's not that. I don't believe that is actually where the focus is. I don't think that that's where they're thinking we can compete. It's everything else around it. and that
Yeah.
needs to be successful for it to work.
Yeah,
So I
because
don't
it'll be
think
the
people should get
training
too
facility.
wrapped up. I don't think people should get too wrapped up in saying, "Oh yeah, but with bigger stadium, more fans will be bigger club." No, I don't think that matters. 8,000 seats is nothing. You know,
I think Marinakis just likes what he saw at Man City, where they've got the stadium and the training facility in a complex. Also, I know what you're saying about would an extra 10k or 8k, whatever it is, make a difference? In a way, yes, because the pattern of football models now is to go down the corporate angle. Whether we like it or not, they make their big bucks on match day by bringing in corporate clients, etc., who are paying stupid amounts to watch a football match. Even I just think.
Sorry. Let me just. Sorry. My point I was trying to make is that a lot of the fans are saying, "Oh, it will give us more because of the size of the stadium." And what I'm saying, no, it's not. It's not the match going fans are going to make the difference. It is the corporate stuff and all the stuff that goes on around it. Not those 8,000 fans.
No, that was your point. Yeah. And that's what Marinakis wants. He wants that corporate ticket as well, because you're right. That's where the money's coming in, and the sponsorships, the bigger deals that you're going to get and be able to attract. I think that from hearing what we heard, I think it clearly shows that the intention isn't to stay there. But on the flip side,
once another to the Premier League's worn off, are we really going to get 50,000 at home to Brentford?
Of course we are.
Yeah, well, Brentford won't be in the Premier League.
Of course, I still look. I think the other thing we got to take into account is if you believe what the club is claiming, and there's 11,000 people waiting on a waiting list. You add that to the 30,000, you're already at 41k. So and then add the occasional fan goers, people who may be coming from abroad and what have you. That'll probably make up another 5k plus away fans and what have you. It could be done, but will it be consistent? I remember going when we were getting relegated back in the day against, I think it was Wimbledon. And even with the pitch invasion, man, it was like there was no one there. It's probably like 16, 17,000. So
that was commonplace in the past.
But look at like Sheffield as well. They didn't sell out because they're already relegated. So it really is dependent on their capacity is bigger than us.
Listen, the most important thing
on the pitch, you've got to be successful.
Exactly my point I was going to make. The focus has got to be to get that squad right, get that team right for next season, and make sure that we're stable in the Premier League. And that's got to be the short-term goal. Because without that, everything else, nothing else matters. Without that, nothing else matters. Who's going to give a shit when we're back in the Championship? You'll soon see the crowds dwindling down to what they were. It won't take long. So it's all about being sustainable in the Premier League, and to be sustainable in the Premier League, the main objective is get that playing squad sorted and get the management team sorted, and then start working on the training facilities and places like that. Because the fans have got to be honest with themselves. I've missed about half a dozen games this season because of the cost, and I have no doubt the cost is going to go up for match tickets for non-season ticket holders next season. No doubt about it. So there will be more games I missed out.
And if for people who live in the city centre, they build the travel to Toten, and I know it's different for everybody. If you live there, you won't, and it swings and roundabouts, but it will affect, I would just say, the majority of fans who are probably more local than out.
And do we need to spend all this fucking money? Do we need to spend?
That's the main thing. We should spend
on players.
It's not that big a difference in the scheme of things. I mean, I think the new stand
is when you're building hotels and stuff. Come on.
No. What I'm saying, the new stand is apparently over 200 mil now, and a fully fledged stadium, you're looking at 400 to 600 mil from what they're talking about.
You made a Lego? Are you joking?
Yeah, that's what you get quoted. It'll end up costing 3 times.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just basing it on evidence.
By I think 4 times, quadrupled.
Yeah, they're at like 500 mil. But I'm just giving you some, but the stand cost is right. It started off at 90 mil, didn't it? And then COVID hit and it went up to like 200 mil and what have you. But I still think, I go back to what you said last year, Ant. This stalling thing, remember when they used the excuse of the rowing club and everything? It's all because, it's all because, and that came out today, Rob, didn't it? When you were shocked by it, weren't you? It's like, okay, so if there's any planning changes, then the leasehold needs to be readdressed.
So
And nothing's
in theory, they've got an architect's plans, they've got the funding, they've got the planning permission, but they haven't actually sorted out the lease yet. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable that you could have a
It's
plan.
sounding more and more like an excuse, isn't it? Not to
Okay,
do it.
let's kick forward to the game. If you want to see the full interview and you haven't seen it yet, it was only put out a couple of hours ago, so check it out after the stream. It is really informative. You know, put your political flags aside. You know, Steve's Labour. If you're not Labour, cool, but just treat it as a politician who's involved in this, talking to you guys about what's going on from the council side of it. And let's get into the match.
He did say as well that being a Forest fan himself, he would prefer us to stay at the City Ground.
Yeah, he did.
He did say that.
Can we just add one thing as well, which is that, you know, if the club, I can see that the club management might possibly, if we even register on their radar, they might be looking at that and seething now. But it's like we did reach out to them for comment, didn't we? I mean, if they want to send somebody to talk to us, but they don't know we had that. The Athletic. Why are they talking to the Athletic and not to us, the largest fan channel? I'm sorry to say it, but why is he doing that? Who are the Athletic? What's their connection with our club? So, you know, I can see that if that interview gets replayed in the office on Monday, they might be seething about it. But come and talk to us, or better still, give Steve Backelman a call.
Yeah, and just to clarify, the club do know that we were before we did the interview. They do know we were going to interview it. They have and probably will be watching it. And we will ask the club. We haven't yet asked the club to come on because I want to get the game out the way. But we will put the offer out to them next week to come on. And if they want to, they're more than welcome to. We'll be just as firm with them as we were with Steve. And and ideally, as Rob said, if we can facilitate the impasse and just get them talking, because it just feels like just get talking, man. Yeah. Here's Matt Turner. Let's get on with it.
The problem is, do Forest want to talk? I get the impression they don't want to talk.
Well, I don't blame them for exploring the possibility of a move. It's something you should always consider your options. But to me, if they haven't met since February, something is very, very wrong there.
That's what I'm saying, Rob. I don't think Forest want to talk. They want to delay.
More importantly, you know, we've put a couple of polls out on this now, and it's roughly about 80-20, isn't it, Wolfie, in favor of staying at the City Ground. And if you're gonna ignore the fans' opinion, these are the people that you're building a stadium for, that you're expecting to fill this stadium. You got to listen to the fans, and you got to give them the option to give. But proper fans, you know, I'm kind of a little bit sick of this organized fan base that we've got at the moment. Let's hear from real fans. Let's hear from the fans on the street, you know, and hear their opinions on this, because everything else just seems a bit contrived when they're having these meetings with supporters groups, and I don't quite like it.
I
don't think we're getting the black and white story. We're getting, you know, we're just getting a dumbed down version of what we really want to hear. So I think have an opportunity. Let Rob interview them, and then let's see what they have to say. You know, get them. You know, I know you'll push your buttons, and that's what we need to do, because the truth needs to come out, and we need to be more transparent in this stuff, because the fan base, the ones that you're expecting to fill the stadium, need to be kept in the loop, and at the moment we're not in the loop. So fix that up, Forest, and let's move on to the game.
Rob, can't you just take one for the team and run for Labour instead of the Lib Dems? Because they're probably going to get in, and, you know, you could.
I'm sorry, it would give my dad a heart attack, so I can't, I'm afraid.
Okay, let me just. Jordan
we can't joke about that now, can we? Sorry, that was a very bad taste joke, wasn't it? Joking about
heart attack. Yeah, you're evil, right? You picking on me, man. Let me have my heart attacks in peace, please, right? Jordan, thanks so much
for an offer from Mr. Marinakis to buy the channel to shut us all up.
I'm waiting for an offer for him to buy me a new heart. Jordan, thank you so much for the 199. Hey, boys, I hope you're all good tonight. We are good, mate. Let's see how we feel this time tomorrow night. That's the big one, which we're about to move on to. And Chris says you can't walk into town from Toten post-match.
He could do. It'd just take you a long time.
Thank you so much, Chris,
Sunday lunch.
for the £2. Okay, let's get into what is for me more important, which is tomorrow. VB just quickly saying, you guys missed the point. This is business. I wouldn't want to leave the city ground, but needs must. Got to move forward. I agree with you. We've agreed with you. The way Marinakis is talking is probably happening. So, okay, let's park that for now. And as I said,
I've got to reply to that. Yes, it's his business. You're quite right, but it doesn't mean it's going to be successful. It could be a right fucking white elephant, right?
Especially if
get relegated.
We got relegated. Yeah,
it's not falling into disrepair. Mr. Marinakis sells. Just think,
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a risk. It's a massive risk.
Okay, so can we talk about football now? Chat, do you want to talk about football? I mean, should we? There's nearly 500 of you across the platforms and 94 likes. We need 6 more likes. Get those likes up.
Come on.
And okay, let's kick it off with the game tomorrow. So Forest are playing Chelsea. Final match at the City Ground, 5:30. But all our eyes, Crypto, will be on. We were talking about stadiums and no atmosphere. The toilet bowl in London. Come on, I can't do it.
No.
And you're going to give us a rendition of Blowing Bubbles again. No?
I tell you what, if they win, I'll be glad to.
I'll
mate.
be singing it, man. I've got a whole bubble machine waiting. But yeah, what's more in your mind tomorrow, Crypto? Is it the West Ham game or the Forest game?
Well, I'm going to say both just because they're at different times. I think if they're at the same time, I'd almost be more focused on what's happening to Luton and Burnley, but because we're at different times, I'll watch the 3 o'clock one by any means necessary, and then onto the 5:30 one for Forest. So I don't know. Like Nuno said, I watched Nuno's presser earlier. It's in our hands. It's literally in our hands. We can decide whether we stay in the Premier League or not. But I've got a feeling that we won't need to get that many points. I think Luton and Burnley are going to struggle for their remaining matches. It's not easy for them. I am a bit worried that West Ham are on the beach because they can't get any European spots now, can they? But they're West Ham. They should beat them quite easily. Beat at home, it should be an easy game for them. Really,
Boys' last game, home game.
Exactly, yeah. But look, the Forest have got to step up tomorrow. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because Chelsea have been in good form lately. So are we thinking it's going to be a Man City type match where we go 5 at the back and try and play defensive, or are we thinking just attack them like we did with Sheffield? It's a tough one to say, and I'll trust in Nuno. But for me, I think I'd like us to just go out there 4 at the back and have a go again. And that reminds me actually. Everyone who said 5 at the back last time, you guys were wrong and I was right.
Oh, really?
We
Completely wrong. You were completely wrong. We won 4 at the back.
To be fair, we never said 5 at the back. We said 3 at the back.
You didn't, Ez. But these
Sheffield United. We beat
Are you
Sheffield United.
forgetting what happened between 25 minutes and 40 minutes?
Don't big that up, mate.
That's what I said, but you weren't agreeing, So look, tomorrow I'd go 4 at the back. I've put my team out on Twitter. I'd get Alanga off the pitch because he's not in form. I think Alanga's done. He's done for this season. Right. Sorry, he's my boy. I got a shirt behind me, but
ever since you bought his shirt,
ever since I bought that Rainer shirt, they're just swapping over in levels. So
Crypto, who you got in place in Alanga in yours, and you're going 4-2-3-1. I'm assuming.
I'll reel off my team quickly. We'll probably talk about the positions later, but it's Is Nico Williams injured? Because I saw him today and he didn't look injured.
Well, why didn't you ask your boy then?
I couldn't catch up with him. I was walking, morbidly obese man walking, following a guy in a G63 AMG. I couldn't quite catch up with him. I'm presuming Nico Williams
in his car. Is that what you're saying?
We got out his car
basically.
and he was on the training video, walking into the training thing. Anyway, I've just presumed that Williams is injured. So is that my team? Oh, there you go. That is my team there. So what I've done is I've swapped Elanga out for Reina because I think Elanga's a brilliant player, but I don't think he's in form. He hasn't done anything for us recently, Rob. You can argue your point in a minute.
What's Reina done?
Reina's looked good when he's come on, but who else would you put in there? If Elanga comes on, who else do you put in there? Reina is a natural one. Again, someone out of form, Chris Wood. I've put Awoniyi in there. Awoniyi was brilliant against Chelsea before, so I would have Awoniyi starting on that pitch tomorrow. I have dropped everybody's favourite Ryan Yates. He scored a goal last time, so I think he deserves a rest. That's all I'll say on that. And then, if Williams is not fit, I'd have Tavares in to hook up with Hudson-Odoi and Aina out on the right. If Toffolo goes there, that would be fine by me. But that would be my starting 11. I want to see attacking football. I don't expect us to actually... There's no expectation for us to win tomorrow. So I think we just go out there and we attack and we try and get a decent result out of them. I'm not in favour of this defensive 5-back. I know some of you guys are, but that's Cooper ball for me. And we blamed Cooper for it. And now some of you are saying Nuno should do the same. I don't agree with that. We need to go all out attack.
What do we need out of tomorrow's game? Forget about.
We don't know.
Well, we don't know, do we?
I'm just asking Crypto. Hypothetically.
Well, in a perfect world, we get 3 points, but we may need 0. We may need no points.
Exactly. So
he could change. He could change the lineup. Fair enough. Based on the game that happens before, he could change the lineup. That would be the smart thing. But I don't know. I don't know what we need tomorrow. But thankfully, we're playing at 5:30, and we will know. And if we do need points, then that should motivate the team to go ahead and get them. If Luton get 3 points tomorrow, I expect us to go out there and try and win that match. I know it's Chelsea. I know they've got Cole Palmer. I know they're in good form. But what happens tomorrow at 3:00 is gonna change their mentality.
Let me ask the guys then. Let me ask the guys. Who's going back free tomorrow?
Yeah, but you lot are wrong. You were wrong last week. You'll be wrong again.
I didn't.
Mate,
I said
it's Sheffield United last week, Crypto.
I didn't say back free last week.
Sheffield.
Chat 3 or 4. Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat.
Yeah.
4
3 or 4.
3 is confusing though because 3 is 5.
How often before?
No, it's not.
How long before kickoff?
That's the wrong answer, Ez, but I like it.
So normally when I'm on the way to a game at 3:00, the team is announced. The team's normally announced at 2 for a 3:00 game, isn't it?
Well, it's always announced an hour before, so it'll be at 4:30.
So the thing is that obviously there'll still be 15-20 minutes to go in the Luton game at 4:30.
But they'll be 4-0 down by then.
Are we allowed to delay the announcement of the team?
It wouldn't matter either way, Rob. What would it matter?
Yeah, what does that show?
Of course it matters. Look,
you have to hand the team sheets in an hour before the game. You cannot change them after that.
You can blag an injury.
Yeah,
you could say, Nick Carter was injured in the warm-up.
If he was injured in the warm-up, you can.
Yeah.
We did that with remember Lingard against, was it Man U in the cup?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
last season.
The thing is though, if Luton lose tomorrow, I'll put it the other way around. If Luton win, we preferably need to win. If Luton lose, we're safe, so we might as well go and try and win. It's the same thing, really. What's the difference? We're not.
Nobody's denying that, Crib.
If Luton lose, we're not just going to say, whatever. You might just try and win the match. It's still a football match.
Yeah, but who are you up against? Look at the players.
They're a very good team. I haven't got massive expectations, but as Nuno said, it's in our hands. It needs to be that Arsenal type mentality from last season. We need to go out there and get some points.
Yeah, but how did we set up against Arsenal last season? Did we set up
low block?
In the 4-2-3-1? I don't think we.
Yeah,
did.
but Arsenal are a different team to Chelsea. If we go down on goal difference, that really would be something. That'd be like Stoke times 3.
Yeah, if
Chelsea we're about 11 goals ahead, aren't we? So
if Chelsea we could score 4 or 5 goals.
If we get slapped 11-0 tomorrow, then I'm supporting a different team.
I think Wolfie said earlier on in the week, and I got to agree with him on this one. That Chelsea team is only a few tweaks away from being a really competitive.
Yeah, I agree. They're in really good form.
Top quality players. I mean, let alone what Conor Gallagher and obviously Cole Palmer are the two that stand out. But We've got Madueke who's hitting form. He's getting a run of games. You know, we've got Jackson who, on his day, can score a couple of goals against you. You know, he gets
awkward,
chances.
But that's one of my
Caicedo's all of a sudden playing like a world class player again.
Yeah,
but this is my worry.
They're in far better form, Crypto, than Arsenal were last season.
And
so
I know, but I don't think that sitting back against them will work on this occasion because they are in such good form.
We didn't sit back against. You remember the Man City game,
just
Crypto?
Establish what Chelsea are playing for here, right? So they're currently neck on neck.
They're playing for Europe.
Yeah, they are in 7th place on
win.
goal difference from Man United.
Have to win.
They could still nick. What's the difference between 6th and 7th place?
Europa to conference, subject
Right,
to Man City winning the FA
So
Cup.
they could nick a 6th spot from Newcastle, right? So it's all to play for them.
They
It's
have to
all
win,
play for, and they've won the
But
last
it
2
should-
games.
it should be all to play for us as well.
Exactly.
It's a competitive
But they're
football
better than
match.
us.
100%.
They're better than us, but we do better against the bigger teams. I thought we played well against Man City. We
This is
did
a good
lose,
point.
but I genuinely thought we played really well against Man
I
City.
think Chelsea are turning
I
up.
know it was the
win.
wing back formation. Look, I'm not. If
That's
Nuno
what I'm
goes
asking
out
for
there
tomorrow.
if he goes out 5 at the back tomorrow, that's fine by me.
won
If he
it
wants to
5
play
at the
wing
back.
back, I'm just saying, me personally, I would go 4 at the back because I think Bolly and Murillo are strong enough to have that defensive partnership. I don't think Niakate, to be honest, because what you guys are going to say is put Niakate maybe at left centre back or centre back.
Yep.
I don't think Niakate has been in brilliant form, and I don't think
he's been good. He was good against Man City, mate.
I don't think he needs to be in that starting lineup.
Side.
I think Niakate, I don't want to say it, but I think Niakate, the second half of the season, has been a bit of a weakness in our side.
That's because he hasn't played.
Yeah, but this is not the time to start giving someone a run of games. We could get relegated. This is the time to play your best team and your best players.
Hang on a sec, Crypto. You've got fucking Reina at right wing. Are you mad?
Yeah, that's a contradiction there.
And Tavares as well.
Yeah, but Reina's looked good when he comes on. Niakate hasn't. Yeah, but Niakate hasn't looked great when he's come on. I think Reina has, and also as I've said before. Yeah, but as I've said
one at
before,
one at a time. I can't stand any of you.
It's been on an hour.
I know, but I'm going to shut up. But as I've said before, I have to justify this shirt. Cost 95 quid.
Okay. Well, you haven't justified it. There you go.
That's great. Well done.
I've been waiting like hours for him to drop a doozy, man. It's taken him that long, man.
Anyway. Jump in.
Go on.
You go. Rob.
Oh, me. Right. Well, look. This time tomorrow, we could be fine. But knowing this season, that isn't going to happen. It just isn't, right? I personally,
why did I go to Rob?
Luton are going to probably draw at West Ham. Luton are probably going to draw at West Ham. West Ham are not on form at the minute, but I don't see why they would capitulate in the last home game for Moyes. But I think Luton are going to go all out for it. They're going to be plucky and they're going to get a 1-1 or something.
Don't say plucky.
Pressure on us. So we need to match their result. We need to get a draw at home, which is what we got with Chelsea last year. I think we have to keep it tight. We're definitely going to let in a goal from a corner. So we need to score a breakaway equaliser. I think that Elanga and Awoniyi are the 2 players that have done damage to Chelsea in the past. I don't know whether that means anything in the terms of tomorrow's game because Awoniyi is not fit and Elanga's on poor form. But my preference with the team is to pick people who are our players, right? You know, we may never see Reina again. We may never see.
He's our player, Rob.
We're trying to
one at a time.
I don't think loan players are what we need. Are definitely not
loan players got us promoted.
No. I don't want to see Montiel again. I want to see Aina at right back and Toffolo at left back. We had a myth that somehow Hudson-Odoi needed Tavares behind him and no, because he's just had a fantastic game without
Have
Tavares.
you got
Man.
have you got an
They were
agenda
pathetic.
against
They
people from
were pathetic.
Argentina?
I've
You
got
don't
an
want
agenda
Dominguez
against
in the
people
team.
who are not
Don't want
our
Montiel.
players. No Origi, no Reina, no Tavares, no Montiel. I want Forest players playing tomorrow, playing for our future and their future.
He's a Forest player. Look, it's Forest
They're
shirt.
Forest players, mate.
I'll turn it around if you want.
Do you think that Reina's actually? This is a good, serious question. Do you think that Reina is sort of angling for a move? Because is there any way back for him if Sancho's doing well back in Germany? Is there actually
Exactly? So he's going to be motivated.
Well, is he though? I don't know. I mean,
Not a right wing. He's not.
I
He's
don't
a right wing.
no, he's not a right winger. Absolutely, and he's going to start drifting.
No,
in, getting more
he'll play like Cho, and that's been working well. He'll play like Callum Hudson-Odoi.
He won't.
Well,
You're
here's a thought. Why
you're
not a
getting empty dub
5-4-1? Why not a
Yeah, he'll
5-4-1
play
with
like
Reina
MGW,
and Gibbs
though,
White
okay.
in the middle?
But do you want to experiment this late into the season?
Then
No,
you
but I'm thinking that,
then you weaken the middle of the pitch.
If you're going to play Reina, you play him as an 8 or a 10, not anything else.
I don't know why there's so much hate for Reina. I thought he's been pretty good
No,
when he's come on.
Just does not
Because he's been
really
average.
confidence with him out of position. I think
He's not had a run. He's not had a
Yeah,
run.
he's not had a run.
I know he's not had a run, and he's not gonna get a run.
Don't get me wrong.
The
But
only
Of
reason-
the players,
Rob,
of
Rob,
the lone
let-
players,
Rob,
he's
let
the one I'm most keen on, and the
Let me
one I
just
would
say-
make room for.
let me just say one thing. The reason I've added in Reina is because Alanga for me is not in form. Now, who do you put in there? I don't want Origi in there. So the next natural player to step up is Reina, because who else are you
No.
going to put out on the right?
You leave Alanga out on the right.
Ribeiro.
No, but I'm saying I don't want Alanga in my
You've
team.
got to have
Ribeiro,
some
then.
pace.
Because I
You've
don't
got
think
to have some
I don't think
pace.
he's in
Doesn't
form.
matter.
I like Alanga. Alanga's one of my favorite players, but he's not been in form these last
Do
few
you think
games.
No, I
Chelsea
know.
is scared of Alanga? Do you think
What's
Chelsea's scared of Alanga after
not at
what
the
he did at
moment.
Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, but
No.
that was a year ago, Rob. That at the
It wasn't.
moment
It
he's
was
not in
about
form.
6 months ago.
Well,
Look,
same thing. 6 months a year, same thing. He's not in form.
he can find form.
Yeah, but
All
not
right,
now.
all right.
One
As,
home
as
game.
David says, order. We're back in the House of Commons again. All right, Ezenan, bring some order to this.
Go on, Ant. You go on.
Right, in my opinion, right.
Oh, you
for
sounded
for a
sexy
start-
there, man. Proper nice deep bass on that
My
voice
opinion.
as you brought it across. Love it.
For a start, I think that Luton and Burnley will both lose. So
Great.
all
He's
this
just
chat
jinxed
we've
him.
got-
Chat, clip
No,
him.
no. You know I don't do the jinx thing. You know that. So I think they'll both lose. West Ham worry me. West Ham. I think Tottenham will definitely beat Burnley. I think
Clip him.
There's no doubt about that. I know they're on rotten form at the moment, but again, you're talking Burnley. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they've only won 2 games all season or something stupid. 2 games away all season, a bit like us. Then look at how we are away. So there you go.
They won 3.
I think Burnley will definitely do. I've got no worries about that. Plucky Luton could get something at West Ham, but I don't think they will because it's Moyes' last game. It's the last home game of the season. I think that they will be up for it. And I think, I'm hoping and I believe that they'll put in a performance. So I think by the time we play, I think it's going to be party time. You know, I really do.
I hope so.
I have no confidence in us getting any points against Chelsea. Chelsea are on scintillating form, you know, and their players, we've known all along they've got quality players. They've been shocking, but we knew that the players themselves, a lot of them are very good. People like Casado, people like Madueke, people like...
Yeah. They're very young.
Cole.
Very
Yeah,
young.
they're very young. That's it. We are capable of getting a good result against them. We are capable of drawing and winning against them, but it's not the likely outcome, is it? The likely outcome is we'll lose. I would definitely play with a back 3. I would play exactly the same as we played against Manchester City. Crypto keeps calling it defensive. We had more chances than they did against Manchester City.
It's some of
Good
our best
chances
football.
as well. In fact, we
Yeah.
should have won that game in actuality.
I agree.
It shocked me to the core. If
And
we
I
play
think
like
if
that against Chelsea, we stand a chance. We really do.
And I
'cause
think
they're
if
not
we'd
there.
had Taiwo in that game, man, I think if we'd had Taiwo in that game, I think
Yeah,
they
I
would
thought,
have...
Question, isn't it?
depends on his fitness levels. I'd start him. We can take him off. We can take him off when he gets tired. Run yourself into the ground and then bring him off because he does cause problems. There's no doubt about that. I'm massively not pleased with Elanga at the moment, but I would still start him in this game because we have no one else to fill that right side.
That's the argument, isn't it?
And
I don't think Reina fills that hole.
No, he can. That's the problem. And we know he can be a threat, don't we? We know he can. The change I would definitely make, or the changes I would make from the City games, I would have Dominguez in for Yates, and obviously we've got Nico that's
apparently injured.
I don't think he's going to be in.
That's true, Simon. That is true, actually. I think they've won one game away in this year away. So that is actually a good point.
They've won 5 all season. They're 5-5-7. Their record away from home.
Just one point on that. One point on that as well, just quickly. Tomorrow is our last home game of the season, and I think you guys will be surprised. I think Forest are going to be up for it. Like really, really up for it. They'll be buzzing. They should be every game. But we've seen exactly. I think tomorrow it'll be drilled into them that you go out there and you give the performance of the season today. Because this to say thank you to all the supporters who have been here every week following you.
Yeah. And so sorry, just to finish off. The fullback situation, I so wish Nico was fit because he's been so good lately that there would be no debate then.
Can I be controversial on that? Yes, he has been good, but what's he provided?
He's a right back, mate. He's a wing back, and I think he's provided a lot of threat. I mean, you're right. His goals and assists have been missing.
He pulls their defenders out of position.
But he's played well without the GA. I understand that. And some people are obsessed with GA. They don't actually look at performances. And I think he's put in good performances. He's tackled well as well. He's defended well as well, which is basically what he is, a defender at the end of the day. So I would have had Nico in, obviously. He's not there. I am a bit twisted. Not a bit twisted. That doesn't sound right. I am a bit undecided whether I want Tavares at... No, I don't. Because he's been out of the team and we've not seen it. It's got to be who's it got to be? Aina. It's got to be Aina at left back. And I'm sorry, Rob. It's got to be Montiel at right back. It's got to be.
Do we have to buy him if he plays?
Because he will be playing as a wing back. Don't forget. If we've got.
Does anybody know how many games we get before we have to buy him? Because I really don't want to buy him. Sorry.
We don't have to buy him.
Right. So, he's a World Cup winner. He has played. He has played
crazy things, though.
He has played in the World Cup. He has played. He's played in the Europa final, and as we know, scored the penalty win. So he's used to big occasions. So we don't have to worry about him from that aspect. And he can provide going forward as well. And I'd rather have him on the right and Aina on the left than Aina on the right and Tavares on the left. I don't like that. It's too much. That is too much. That would be my team. And I think with that team, we can provide a real test for Chelsea and we could get a positive result. However, I don't think, and I'm hoping we won't need one.
Go on, Edmundo.
You know what? I pretty much said a lot of what I was going to say, so I'm agreeing with him on the fact.
So shut up, then.
No, but I think that the work will be done before we even get to the game. I do think that I can definitely see Tottenham beating Burnley because it's like as shit as they've been. I think they've lost 4 in a row now, aren't they?
Yep. Don't I know it? Yeah.
I think they've only had
and you've not done a predictor league.
Oh yeah, predict. I didn't have time because of Steve. So make sure you get your predictions in on the predictor league. Our bad, but
nobody's bothered about predictions. You just want to see you roasting, twisting, simple as.
We'll have to wait another week. But and I think they've only won 2 in the last 8, but those 2 were against Luton and Forest. So they'll get the job done against one of the lower teams. They can't beat anybody else, but they should do the job tomorrow. And I do agree. I think. Fucky Luton will get a draw at that Rose Bowl, but they shouldn't do because they've got as much. You can hate him or love him or hate him, but Moyes has done the job there. He's got them actually. He's actually got them
Yeah.
places. He's got them trophies. You know, hate him or love the way he plays. I don't give a shit. They should give him a send off anyway. So let's hope that happens. But I do agree. I think the job will be done before we even get to the game. But
You know what?
lineup that I'd go for is pretty much exactly the one that Ant's just said. So I'll save you time on that.
I thought you were going to say crypto. You know, do you know what would be really bad tomorrow? Genuinely, if let's say Luton got a point and we lost, I think that's the worst situation because
You don't say, mate. How did you figure that out?
Look. If Luton win and we lose, we go into Burnley and we have to win. If Luton draw and we lose, we go into Burnley needing 1 point.
Man,
aka
we
draw.
Crypto,
That
don't
is
worry, mate.
dangerous. It's
We're
dangerous.
gonna batter Burnley. So
Yeah,
don't worry.
but we could do a Forest thing where we get like 1-0 ahead and try and defend a 1-0 lead.
trying
and it's
to- I'm trying to
96 minute
convince you.
concede and it's all over. A draw is dangerous. I hate playing for a draw. It never seems to work out.
Yeah, I get you. Can I just say that the last 4 games, West Ham have lost 3 and drawn 1, and Luton have lost 3 and drawn 1. So God,
Yeah,
Got
but Luton,
1-1 written all over it.
no, great.
Shut up, Rob.
2-1 to West Ham, mate.
yeah, but Luton's away form is played 18, 1-2, drawn 4,
Oh, they won at
lost
Everton,
12.
didn't they? They did win at Everton.
Yeah, but they lost at Sheffield, didn't they? Or was
They
that
lost
at
home
home?
to Sheffield.
Oh no, they lost
No,
at home to Sheffield. Sorry, yeah. So I don't know who those 2 wins are. Was it Brighton? Chat. Someone will know in the chat. The 2 wins.
Someone
Maybe it's
find out.
Burnley. I don't know. So chat.
You
Someone
took
pick it up.
I
Who
think
do
it's
teams they
Massive
beat?
advantage that we
Bournemouth,
go
Bournemouth.
after them.
Oh, away. Their away win.
Away. So someone in the chat smarter than us. They'll figure it out.
How many games away from them have we won this season?
Sheffield. They beat Sheffield United
3.
away.
3 now.
So, and how much
Sheffield
confidence
United.
do we have in our away form?
Yeah, but
You're right.
they've won less games than us away from home, but they've picked up more points than us away from home.
Yeah.
So they picked up 10 overall. 6, 10, and we picked up 9. Only Sheffield are worse than us away from home.
That's terrible. 9
Sure.
points away from home. Add it on to last season's total in 2 seasons.
Still not double figures, is it? It's
This is
pathetic.
why we could
Shocking,
do.
isn't
This is why we could do a winning tomorrow. In case
Thank
Burnley.
you, Brighton and Palace. Rich, you idiot. No, didn't they draw with Palace? I thought they
No, it
scored
was
with
Sheffield and Everton. I've just looked at Sheffield,
Sheffield
and
and Everton. Freaking Everton. Okay, so let's round up
The
with
Luton
some.
have been.
Yeah.
The
Away,
Luton have been
away.
away. So
Away,
Sheffield,
yeah.
Everton, 2 of the worst
Yeah.
clubs in the league. So
Yeah.
West Ham,
West Ham should win.
Come on, Lawless. Come on, Jace. Don't let us down, man. Don't let us down.
Yammers.
Chat,
Let's just
get
hope
your.
Spurs don't flop it.
I am worried about Spurs. Always screw Forest over, man. I am worried about that one as well.
Burnley
Okay,
lost
chat.
to
Get your
Sheffield
score
United.
predictions in. We've got 520 of you in here, but only 158 likes. Get those likes up. Get your score predictions in. Rob, kick us off with both games. All 3 games, in fact. Right, let's do all 3 key games tomorrow. What are you saying? You've been really bad at predictions lately. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah,
I
you
could,
start.
give you the realistic case, but you won't like it.
I'll go
mean,
to him last. Man.
Here we go.
I think, okay, so you should never rely on Spurs, but Burnley got thrashed at home to Newcastle last game. I think they are poor. So I think Tottenham will beat Burnley. That will be the end of Burnley. They'll be relegated. They could still ruin our last game, but they themselves will not be able to stay up. I think that Luton will be plucky and they'll get a 1-1 at West Ham, who are not really that interested.
Why you gotta use the plucky word? I mean, seriously.
Because it annoys you. And then we
Good
will
enough
then
reason.
be in a case where we have to get something out of the Chelsea game. It's either going to be 1-1 or 3-2 to Chelsea. We've done so many 3-2s. That one's got a 3-2 written all over it. It could just be like the Newcastle game all over again. I'd love to think that we'll be celebrating this time tomorrow night. But if there's one thing about this season, there is just no relent. It just goes on and on and on. So I just feel like it's too good to be true, imagining that we'll be all right tomorrow evening. I think the pain
last season,
for
Rob.
the week.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Ant, stop nicking my points, man.
Go on, Ez. Let's go to you next for Ant nicks your score predictions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think Rob has, to be honest, but I do think.
Are you just an echo in here, mate? It's like...
I feel like it's night, man. I know I'm tired, but I can't believe I'm actually agreeing with either one of any of our fucking panels.
Well, you still haven't agreed with crypto, so you're still good.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Nobody agrees with crypto.
There's still time. We've still got time, man. But yeah, I think Spurs will do the job against Burnley, and if anything, it'll be a 1-0 win to West Ham or a 1-0 draw. So, but I'm gonna go be positive and say West Ham will do the job, and then it doesn't matter what we do. But I think just in isolation for our game, I would have been happy with a draw at any stage of the season against Chelsea, to be fair. We've beat them away from home, so we've got those 3 points. 4 points from any one of your rivals over a season, you got to be happy with. So, yeah, I'd go for a draw
Can
tomorrow.
I add one thing, actually? The only Chelsea player
Oh,
to score against us is Raheem Sterling, and I don't think he's going to be playing because he seems to be out of favour, right?
Because he's shit.
Yeah, but they've got
No,
Cole
but
Palmer.
he's got, like, he scares me. If he's not featuring, then I'm more optimistic. Sorry to interrupt.
Simon Jones, I was right about Sterling. So
Are you still playing that card?
It didn't take a
Jinx,
genius.
mate. That's where the
You'd have to
jinx
be a
arena
knobhead
started,
to
wasn't
think
it?
he was
With
gonna be
Sterling.
success at
yeah,
Chelsea.
well, it was one of them. It was one of them. Yeah.
One of them, yeah. One of many.
All right, let's. Did you finish your? You did all
Haven't got
three.
him yet.
All right, crypto. Go on, crypto.
I mean, take my score predictions with a pinch of salt because I've got 2 right over the whole season. I think Luton are going to go all out at West Ham and mess up defensively and lose 4-1. I think Spurs are going to beat Burnley 1-0, and I think Forest are going to have the game of their life, clean sheet, 2-0, Murillo brace, and we stay up.
I don't think I'm going to get bored of that, to be honest.
You're not supposed to giggle whilst it's happening because you're supposed to just be done.
I can see Rob cracking up.
I think that's got plenty of life in it yet. That has.
Yeah. Chad, do you like the tumbleweed or not? And go on.
Right, well, I'm going to... Right, okay. I'm going to go with...
You wrote him down?
No, it's on the prediction thing. It's on the
Oh,
prediction
okay.
league.
He's
So I
eager. He's
can
already
take
done
him.
it. Top 10 fighter there, isn't? Where are you? 8th, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've not had a good... I didn't have a good week last week, yeah.
There's been no screenshots. And we saw one screenshot from Ant when he went top.
That's why I was top. I don't, you know, if you're not top, you're not a winner, are you? I'm about 30-something in the whole Forest fan base of thousands. So anyway, that's beside the point. So I've gone for... I've been realistic, you know, not just hope. I've gone for West Ham to win 2-1 against Luton.
Okay.
I've gone for Tottenham to win 2-0 against, but Tottenham really should win about 5-0, but I've gone for 2-0 because they've been crap. And this is where it gets difficult because with Forest, you're all quite correct. A lot of it will depend, our attitude will depend on the results previously. So if those results are true, and we say Forest can go out with, I won't say gay abandon because I'll probably get clipped, but Forest can go out with freedom to express, which will, and the tension won't be there. So it'll be a totally different game to if, say, Luton won. But I've gone for a 2-1 Chelsea win. But I have done that in a sort of no-lose situation. Yeah, fair enough.
That's a proper tumbleweed moment.
That's fair comment. That's fair comment. So there it is. But even with those results, it means Forest staying up.
Okay. Right, let me give you mine. Before I do, let's catch up on the super chat. Sharky with the £2 extra beta blocker for me before the match tomorrow. Man, I got these pills. Where's my other pills? These pills.
What did I tell you?
It's gonna do Ez's head in, man. I knew. I just wanted to look at Ez, man. It's wound him up just seeing those boxes. Bill Gates pumping me with it. Thanks so much, Sharky. And Paul with the 199. We've had enough bad luck. We'll be safe at 5:30. As long as we're safe at 7:30 as well, mate. Because Forest go and concede 100 goals. My God. All right, I'm gonna go for Spurs to win. I don't know about the Luton one. Jace, Lawless, you win as well, 2-0. and then this will be permanently on for the whole summer, man. And then Forest will go and draw 1-1 with Chelsea. I think either way, Forest will draw with Chelsea. It's just what do Luton do.
Could happen, yeah.
Yeah, and just for Crazy Cat Ladies asking, how's the PC fund going?
Oh.
It is done and dusted because you guys are all legends. It's
Absolutely.
been ordered.
But
You guys smashed the target. When was it? 3 days ago? It was ridiculous. Did it in like 2.5 weeks. So thank you so much. It should hopefully have the parts by next Monday, and we'll talk you through who's doing it, how it's got done. There's a post on the community tab breaking down. Total spend was exactly £2,010. It was bang on the money. So if you're geeky and want to see the parts, go check out the community tab. But you guys are absolute legends, Antonio.
Yeah. Really are.
But I'm starting a GoFundMe myself to pay for my beard trimming because it's bloody
Fucking arm and the leg, mate.
You lot
I've got a pair of
It does look
shears.
amazing.
You lot voted
Forgot-
for me to keep this beard, and I had it trimmed today. 11 quid for a beard. To
What
be
about
trimmed. So-
the dyes? The dye's expensive as well.
It is.
Yeah, but this
It
is
looks
an
amazing.
old dye. I'm on about.
What dye? What dye? What beard?
Bloody
Hang on a second. What beard dye have you got? Mine only lasts about a week. I want to know what beard dye you've got.
Whoa, can we have this chat off here, please?
This is the most important subject of the night.
So
I need
the
to know what
GoFundMe
beard dye
will
and
next
stuff.
week for me to have regular beard trims. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But chat, how smooth does Ant look? And
It
can
looks
you
sharp
imagine-
today, the beard. It really. Who can remember what Anne looked like without a beard? I can't.
And whoever
don't
wants
want
to see
to.
me
I
without a
can't.
beard again?
I didn't shave it off now, you bastard.
He's scared. He's scared. Keith with the £2 towards the S Club 7 mouse mat. Ain't no party like a
Take
S
the
Club
win on
party.
that one, matey.
Yeah, thanks so much, Keith. Okay, we've got tomorrow morning out at 7 a.m. will be a preview with Charlie from Blue Brothers. So if you're up early,
Legend.
want some entertainment with your breakfast, check that out. We'll have the watch along for the Luton game. Unfortunately, I'm not fit enough to get to the Chelsea game. What are the odds? One game I was going to go to. So we'll have the watch along for the Chelsea game as well. And then hopefully we can do the beach party because Ants Inflatables, man, they're starting to get the dust a bit. So make sure you've hit
Well,
that
not
like
all of them.
button.
Which one? Which
No
one's that?
shadow.
The blow up doll.
Oh, wait. No, he did a joke and I missed it.
Hey,
Yeah, but that's the one when people laugh.
that's
It's
a well timed. That's a well timed joke.
It had to be done. We'll see you tomorrow morning and for the watch alongs. I'm gonna go collapse. I'll see you guys later. Hit the like button. Come on, you Reds.
Come on, you.
Come on, you Reds.
Come on.
Red.